So when you get onto the module of Lightroom, you are open with this. So this is a Lightroom Classic CC as it is written above here. So let me just do one thing. Let me open all the tabs because I prefer keeping them closed. Okay. So this is the basically the module or the UI that you are welcome with when you start your project or when you open Adobe Lightroom. So we have 4 panels. So on the left, this is where we can find our folders, our pictures. This is where we have the collections, as they want to say. Lightroom calls it catalog. This is a so we have several catalogs in here in which we have collections of photos. So you can either rename them yourself or you can just directly import the folders as you want to. So importing is quite easy. You go click on the import. You're open with this. You can find your photos where they might be. So my photos are usually in the data module. So let's take these photos. Okay. And click on import. So your photos will import in here and the folder will be created here. If I want to rename it, maybe. So what I can do is go to here, click on rename. Let's say BitClass _ demo and save. And your folder will be created. And you will have your photos uploaded here. So once you are done with importing the photos over from here, then you can check your photos when you're developing in through here, and you can see your next photo or upcoming photo through here, or you can just directly go from here. If you want to see a bigger profile, you can just click on this module or this option. So second, let it import the whole photo. If another option is to go to directly click on F and you can go on to the full screen module. It is actually Zoom is actually making Lightroom a bit slow, so you have to. There seem to be okay. So now you have an option like this. So you can either go with the grid option or you can just go with the zoomed in option. Another option to go full screen is click on F and you will have the full screen of the photo. Okay. This X and Y works with the before and after. This one gives you detail of the photo, while this one goes to a people view. If you want to maybe doing a photo shoot and you want to find a certain face of a certain person and just build a catalog around that particular person, you can start with the face detection app. Okay. On this side, you have an option to quick develop. If maybe you want to set in something already, say like what I do is I keep every photo on Adobe Portrait Plus, and I do it the lens correction and noise reduction here itself. So I am doing on all photos. So instead of doing on individual on every photo, I can do it from here. Often like wedding photographers, sports photographers, journalists, or Amazon photographers, what they do is they have a set presets. So they make a preset that can be used for their every photo as a base. So they can just directly go from quick develop and set the preset around from here. Say, let's say we want to set the natural preset. I will do the preset. It will be set on every single photo. And from there, I can edit howsoever I want to do it. Let's reset all. I can either go with set the white balance. Maybe I have a photo where I know what the white balance should be and I can do it from there. I can maybe set tone of the photo on freehand and then go forward from there. So we do have that option. And that's what library does. As the name suggests, library is where your data will be imported, where you will see your data. This is where your data will be kept. So now if I want to edit a photo, I will just click on the photo and I will go to develop. And we have this again. So let me just open all this. So presets, as I showed you before on the quick develop app module, you have all the preset over here. If you want to import any preset, you can import. If you want to create any preset, you can create as well. Snapshot is basically a reference shot that you want to keep on the side to see and maintain consistency. History is basically if I do any changes to a photo. History will show that. If I want to go back to reset settings, I can go back to reset settings. Collection is basically if I made a smart quick collection of say 7 photos together and I want to edit them together, I can just directly go and create a smart collection app, quick selection, and edit them through that. It's already selected all photos. Let me do one thing. Let me just select this one. So now we have this module. So there are two basic differences that you will see in a raw photo and a JPEG photo. In JPEG photo, the only option in profile will be color and monochrome. While in a raw photo, you will have several other options as well. And same goes for white balance. In JPEGs, you will only have as short, which is your default, which is your settings right now. Next is auto, and third is custom. Custom is basically when we take this tool and say this is the most whitest part, and we click on that and we set the white balance. Auto is basically we are letting the computer or the software judge on what should be the ideal white balance. As short is what original photo was. Then we have a tone panel and the presence panel. So the tone panel decides the colors. So as you can see over on the histogram, where the histogram is divided into 5 parts: the blacks, shadows, exposure, highlights, and whites. So let's start with the blacks. So the blacks is this point. So black will be the darkest point of the photo. So in here, this is the darkest part of the photo. So if I make it even more darker, so whatever will be is the white part will not be affected, but whatever the dark part will be affected. So anything which is 100% black will be affected. Shadows is basically 80% and below. So if I decrease the shadows, it won't be as strong as blacks, but it will still affect the darker area. If I open the shadows, again, it will not affect blacks as much as it would do if I did the same with the black part. So anything which is 100% black will be affected to blacks. Anything which is 80% black will be affected by shadows. While the highlights and whites is the pose spectrum. Anything which is 100% white will be affected. Anything which is almost 80% white will be affected through highlights. So these are the 4 options that we primarily start with. So what I would do if I were editing a JPEG photo. So first of all, it's like the auto. Am I satisfied with it? Maybe not, because I see that it is a bit bluish in the skin tone. So I will find the whitest part. If you wander around it here, you will see some numbers below. So higher the number, more the white it is. Lower the number, more black it is. So either keep it above 90 or below 10. So if I go on the here, so it's almost around 3.7, which means making it the most blackest part of the photo. But if you see on the navigator side on the left, if I go into that one, it will make it even more bluer. And if I go around, say this is 95% white. Okay. So this is the ideal temperature that its photo should be. That's the balance I want. So as you see, the skin tones are orange and of same red that we want to, that a skin tone should have been. So let's start with the highlight first. So let me see what point. So in editing, in color correction, we don't have set numbers like, okay, for this photo, we need this number. For this photo, we need -50. No, we just go with the flow. Okay, so something around here looks nice. Then I will set on the whites. Maybe not, maybe a bit of boost. Then the shadows. Let me decrease the blacks, or maybe decrease the blacks and increase the shadows. Yeah. You see there is a balance around in here. Without even checking the histogram, we can see that there is a balance between all those platforms. White is considerably high because our outfit and the cap is white, or the much more lighter shade, it will be high, but overall there is a balance of colors that we were required in a photo.